Okay, great. I think the last few participants are in as well. We're still missing a couple, but that's okay. I think we'll get started first, guys. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for making time to join us today with our webinar. We're so excited to do this with you all. Today's webinar is about how businesses are adapting to a post-COVID-19 world, and essentially how a lot of businesses are moving online, and we're just gonna help you get started on that part. Let's look at what we're covering today. And before that, I would like to introduce you guys to two of my handsome colleagues here today. First off, I have Rami, who is a senior consultant here at Eber.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for having time to join our webinar today. Thank you very much.
And we also have Wei Chong right there, who is our business development manager.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today.
And my name is Gowri. I'm your host for today, and I'm the content marketing specialist here at Eber. So, right, let's get started. Let's move to what we're covering for today's webinar. Yeah. So this webinar is going to last for about an hour. We're going to go on for about maybe 40 minutes-ish, and then we'll open up the floors to Q&A. There will be some polls as well in between. Feel free to answer accordingly. And as for what we'll be talking about today, so essentially about taking your business online, the 101 of the online business world, different hosting options, online marketplaces, delivery, payment options, logistics, and then we're going to finish off with some case studies so you guys can draw some real life examples. So before we get started, I just want to launch our first poll for today to just study your buying behavior as consumers. So you should see the poll on your screen right now. Have you been shopping online more often since the MCO circuit breaker started? So yeah, just assuming most of you are from Malaysia and Singapore. So just gonna give you guys a few seconds there to answer the poll. Okay, so it looks like most of you said yes, you have been shopping online more since the MCO circuit breaker started. Thank you so much for your answers. Right, so moving on to the next slide, a couple of headlines here just to show you guys how COVID-19 has pretty much forced a lot of business owners to adapt or lose out. Yeah, so many business owners in light of the lockdown have been forced to move their businesses online. Some have the advantage, some have some kind of prior experience, some had pretty much zero experience, but they had to make it work anyway. So that resulted in some people doing it permanently, whereas for some, it was a temporary measure, right? So why is it important for you guys to actually move your business online? Simply because COVID-19 has just forced everyone to be online most of the time. So we see an increase in social media usage. We see an increased use of e-commerce platforms, and also having food and other essential items being delivered to your doorstep, right? So people are getting used to that convenience of having everything just going online, going on Google, typing what you want, and then you find your answers. You find someone who's willing to get all that delivered to you. And this doesn't just apply to food. You know, it goes for groceries, it goes for other tech work items, because some of you may be working from home. Also works for alcohol, also works for online classes, because people still want to stay fit. So pretty much everything from food to fitness is online. So, and of course, we're not just saying this, it's backed up by two different studies here. The first one is by Ipsos. So you can see we've circled 3 bars here. The first one shows the increase in social media usage. So people just are on Facebook, on Instagram, browsing, finding products they like, shopping. And I think personally, I've fallen victim to a lot of those advertisements and end up buying a lot of things. The second one shows, increase in e-commerce to purchase products, and as well as having food and groceries delivered to your home. And another study by Nielsen also shows that people who are used to making online purchases will continue doing so. So if you have actually moved your business online temporarily during this period, and your customers are used to that convenience of being able to order and buy things online, it's very likely that they want to continue doing so, because when they have that convenience already, they don't want to go out again, find parking and queue up and pay for a lot of things. They just want that convenience. So that's why we're here today. So we look at the next slide. We want to help you know your online jargons. We want to help you find the right tool to move your business online permanently and comfortably, finding the right option for you. We want to make your products available to customers 24/7 and also generate more revenue, because when you have an online business, generally you can reach out to customers who are beyond your target location. Right, so I think that's all for my part. I am gonna hand over to my colleague Wei Chong. He's gonna take you guys through the entire process of how online businesses work, what are your options available. So yeah, I'm gonna pass it over to you, Wei Chong.
Hey, thanks, Gowri. Hi, everyone. Once again, thank you for joining us today. I'm Wei Chong here. So I'm going to cover some, insights of whether having an online business, should it be a temporary measure or it should be the new focus. I believe a lot of businesses have already taken the first step to go online to actually adapt to the situation. But of course, there are still some who might be still pondering whether they should go online or not. But I think no matter what position that you are in now, I think one of the major deciding points whether will this move be just a temporary measure or they will be actually the new focus moving forward for your business. So I would say, basically, be it pandemic or not, I would say Omnichannel should be the way for you to go, right, in terms of your strategy. Because as I mentioned, be it pandemic or not, it actually provides you an additional sales channel for you to drive revenue, all right? Because you can actually outreach to people who might not know you at your physical store, but you have a greater outreach to people who might not really come to your store, right? Having an additional channel online will actually help you to reach out to these people as well, all right? At the same time, even though, there's a gradually open up of this in different countries, like in Singapore, we're in phase 2, in Malaysia, we have the conditional MCO, but people still, right, I would say they are still concerned about, the virus, and they still crave for more choices. So they rather to buy online than stepping out the house, like what we have shared earlier on, right, to actually purchase the product that they want, all right. And of course, with more and more companies adapting to home-based working, that will definitely also change the buying behavior of the consumer. Even for myself, a real life example, during a circuit period for 2 months while working from home, right, I spent more than $3,000 online buying things that is necessary for my work, necessity for me and for my family. So I think while having a physical store is important for retail or F&B business, but online channel will be also equally important to suit the choice of your consumer. So in the next few slides of maybe 10 minutes to 15 minutes or so, I will actually share with you some insights of how you can actually move your business online, right? So for most of the businesses, there are 3 kinds of hosting, I would say, preference that you can actually take note of to actually go online. So they are mainly the hosted e-commerce platform, self-hosted e-commerce platform, and of course, online marketplace platform. So what are the difference between these 3 of them? So I'll do some very simple illustration, just a very layman explanation. So imagine for hosted e-commerce platform, it's like you are renting an apartment, all right? So you can actually ask for more rooms, more facility. Of course, if you look for those with more rooms or more facility, the rent will go higher. You can't really change, the layout of the, the room itself or the house itself, because you can't go through major renovation. But of course, you still need to take care of some minor maintenance of the house, like cleaning, or maybe some aircon servicing. But if you face any major issue with the apartment itself, the landlord will have to settle it for you because you are paying him a rent, right? So that actually applies to hosted e-commerce platforms. So basically, you are paying a subscription fee to actually go online, and most of the things will be taken care of by the platform itself. All right, for self-hosted e-commerce platform, it's just imagining that you are actually buying your own house. All right, of course, you can do whatever you want. The structure is there. You want to change the layout of the house, right? Paint in different colors, or even want to whack down a wall. It's up to you. All right, but end of the day, all the maintenance work had to be done on your end. So it's very similar to this self-hosted e-commerce platform. The structure is there. You can do whatever you want, but end of the day, you still need to take care of all the maintenance stuff itself. And last but not least will be online marketplace platform. So basically, it's like just imagine you're staying in a hotel, right? Everything is well taken care of, your food, the cleanliness, everything. But end of the day, you need to pay a hefty sum for it. So that is the concept of an online marketplace platform whereby you get everything well taken care of, but you need to actually pay, right, a hefty sum for it to get it hosted online. So what I'm going to do next is that to share with you some insights of some of the platforms that you can actually look into to move your business online. Right, so firstly, let's go through the hosted e-commerce platform. So basically, most of them are software as a service that hosts online store, right? So they are e-commerce ready, they are hosting ready, they even have all the supports necessarily provided for you to set up the program. All right, it's ideal for individuals or small businesses with no experience in e-commerce development. But of course, it will generally cost more due to the subscription fees that you need to pay on a monthly basis or annual basis. And some of them, they might also impose a transaction fee for any sales that's done through their platform, right? And of course, all these platforms, just like I shared with you, is like a rented apartment. You can't really do much of the renovation work. So there's also a limitation to the kind of customization that you can actually make on this platform. And if you intend to really grow big and really go to something that can customize to your need, right? Just take note for hosting e-commerce platform, if you want to switch it to another platform, it might be quite challenging. So these are some of the pointers you can take note of if you are exploring hosted e-commerce platform. Next, I'm going to share with you some examples that you can find in the market to actually get yourself online. So the very first one will be Shopify. Okay, I would say Shopify is one of the largest hosted e-commerce platform in the market right now. It's one of the most popular as well. Basically, you can start from just merely USD $29 per month, all right, to set up an e-commerce platform and start selling almost immediately. But however, just do take note, this $29 per month is really just a very simple setup. So it might be useful for if you are individual trying to sell some products, right? But the pricing, I would say that for a typical e-commerce store, a proper store, for all businesses, it will be around the range of USD $79 onwards. Right, so they allow you to sell unlimited products and have unlimited sales based on the different plans that you are in. And of course, it comes with all the various templates, themes to fit into your business branding. And they also allow you to actually sell on social media, like your Instagram and your Facebook store, which is directly connected to Shopify. And of course, for Omnichannel kind of strategy, they also do kind of this Shopify POS system, whereby at your physical store, we can link up as well. So you can actually have this full-fledged of like an Omnichannel strategy to run your business. And of course, for Shopify, you can actually make use of their Shopify payments because they have their own payment gateway to collect, when people pay by their credit card, they can collect this payment through Shopify payment, and there will be no transaction fee involved. Okay, but of course, if you can also have your own payment gateway, but they will charge something like a commission, all right, if you're using your own payment gateway, on top of that, there will be some processing fee applied from the payment gateway as well. So Shopify can be something that you can look into. All right, of course, more information, you can really dive through into their website to see what they can do for your business. The next one that I'll be going through will be Wix. All right, so basically Wix started off as a website builder, a tool for businesses to build website really easily. Right, but of course, to ride onto the e-commerce trend, they have also introduced their online store builder in the recent years for their customers. So it can start as low as USD $28 per month. And the interesting thing is that they don't really charge by your product, they don't really charge by your sales, but they actually charge based on the storage that you have. Because they, as I mentioned, they first started off as a website builder. So normally for a website, the key thing is how much storage that you have on the website, right? So this is how they actually charge, all right? And of course, in terms of the Omnichannel strategy, they also have this integration with Square POS system. So if you want to actually integrate with your POS system, this can be done if you're using Square POS, right? And of course, there will be no additional fee charged by them if you're using any third-party payment gateway. But same thing, the processing fee from the third-party gateway will apply. Right, so these are the two platforms that you can actually explore to see whether does it suit your business and whether is it something that you can actually manage to run your own online store. Next, I'll be going through what are some of the, what we mean by self-hosted e-commerce platform and some example of them. So basically for self-hosted e-commerce platform, there are mainly applications that requires web hosting. So most of them are open source applications, which are free and they are highly customizable. right? So it's really ideal for maybe mid-sized business that requires more control over the platform, and they can actually do customization to meet with the business process and operations or even the requirements. But of course, some of the things to take note that there might be a huge initial investment on the setup and development. So it either be your internal team, or you might want to engage a web development firm to help you to do that. And of course, all the maintenance support have to be done internally or by a web development firm. And lastly, you also need to take note of the web hosting costs and especially the security costs, because when it comes to an e-commerce website, there are live transactions ongoing. So you need to actually take note of all these things to make sure that your website is secure. So same thing, I'll be going through 2 examples to share with you in terms of what are the options that you have on this self-hosted e-commerce platform. So the very first one will be WooCommerce. It's not really a platform on its own, but it's actually a plugin for WordPress. So if you are already using WordPress for your website, this is something that you can explore. It's just a plugin. So they also have, beside that, they also have extensive kind of teams for you to run your online store, so accommodate to your branding itself. And most of the themes that you see or plugins that you see on WooCommerce is free. All right, most of them are free. And of course, there are some chargeable. If they have more intensive module in it, some will be chargeable. So as this is actually residing under WordPress, which is more like a content kind of website, right? It's useful for websites, right, or businesses who need to have a lot of content pages beside the e-commerce function. Of course, for WooCommerce, they support a wide range of payment gateways, and it's 100% customizable. So if you need to customize any of the feature or the module to suit into your business, it can be done. Of course, because being open source, you will see a wide, I would say, community in terms of developers coming out with new plugins, coming out with new feature, and they are almost free. And you can actually find a massive user community support and documentation. If you face any kind of troubles or technical problem, you can actually seek for answer down there. Yep. So this is something that you can actually look to actually explore. All right. Basically, if you're on WordPress already, this is something that you can actually explore to run your online store. Right. Next will be actually another platform that I would like to recommend will be called PrestaShop. All right, so basically this is actually an open source e-commerce platform. It's built for e-commerce. So the whole platform is all about, helping you to actually sell online, be it from, the listing itself, product management itself, online payment gateway itself. Is all about this. So because of that, it will be much more easier to set up, because instead of having a plugin here and there again, this is basically a full-fledged e-commerce shop that you can actually start to use it. And it's highly effective because in the sense of this is built for e-commerce. So they actually have a very effective product management module to help you to manage your inventory when you're selling online. And it does comes with a wide range of extension and modules as well. But sad to say, I would say majority, or rather all of these extension and modules are with charges. But of course, that doesn't stop you from customizing yourself, getting your own developer or your web development firm to extend or to customize the feature yourself. All right. And of course, this is a pure e-commerce website, so you will have a higher performance in the sense of like there are not too much of content pages. And in terms of security-wise, they actually have all the full-fledged security to make sure that this platform is highly secure. All right, so these are the 2 self-hosted e-commerce platforms that you can actually explore, all right, if you are intending to run something by your own. And of course, last but not least, we do have this online marketplace platform. So these are basically website or mobile app to connect buyers and sellers together. So they actually have their own group of followers, their fans, all right, their audiences, and they actually provides an end-to-end solution with high exposure. When I say end-to-end, means that you don't need to do anything. Basically, you just need to provide your product listing, and once there's a purchase, they'll just send you the order. And they will even help you to deliver the thing to your consumer. So it's really ideal for individuals, a small size business with no experience or no manpower to handle all these kinds of things. All right. But the only thing that you need to take note is that because of all the solutions that they are providing, there will be a very high commission charge by the platform for per transaction. And then the payment doesn't really go to you directly. It will be going through the platform. Then thereafter, they will release to the merchant maybe on a monthly basis, depending on which platform that you are in. And of course, as I mentioned, this is actually like a listing of a lot of different merchants. So yeah, you will have good high exposure, but at the same time, you are also facing high competition because you might be seeing, your listing beside your competitor listing. So these are some of the things that you need to take note when you go into an online marketplace platform. So the very first one I'll be sharing will be Lazada. So I think this is not, this is very familiar to most of us. They have strong presence in 6 countries, mainly in Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, and Vietnam. So they have different kind of seller types plans to cater for different kind of businesses or different sizes of businesses itself. And they make cross-border selling possible because they are in these 6 countries, you are able to sell your products, all right, to actually one of the countries that they are in. And their commission rate, interestingly, all right, they start from 0% to 5%, but that depends on the seller type that you are on. All right, and of course, for Lazada, they also provide delivery fulfillment. That means that they will just take a product after someone purchased and they will deliver directly to your consumer. So this is one of the options that you can actually look into if you intend to write on this online marketing platform or marketplace platform to help you to go online. And then next will be Q10. I think this is more widely used in Singapore. All right, this actually their main target is in Singapore itself. So for Q10, same thing is same as Lazada. They actually are online marketplace platform with all the listings of different merchants and different products that you can find. Okay, interesting enough, they actually have a setup fee of $100 to $500 depending on the kind of model or the different kind of plans that you are on. And their commission is relatively high, starting from 12%. But the good thing about this is that, with the amount that they are charging, with the commission they are charging, they are actually providing advertising and marketing credits to you to actually get yourself advertised, all right, on their platform. So they have things like, sponsored listings, sponsored ads that you can make use of to actually get yourself more prominent when people go into Q10. And of course, they also do offer their delivery fulfillment because they actually have their own fleet of, delivery vans that's delivering all these things to, all right, to their consumer itself. So this is something that you can also explore, all right, if you are actually intending to go into an online marketplace if you're in Singapore, right? So these are some of the ideas that you have, we have actually to share with you in terms of how you can actually go online. But of course, for restaurants, all right, beside all those platforms that I've mentioned about, you have actually additional options to actually go online as well. So basically, these are some of the options that we are talking about, which is an online ordering platform and food delivery platform. All right. So just to go through very quickly, for online ordering options, basically they are more of like a SaaS-based service as well. So it's like taking an online order, just take it like very similar to Shopify, very similar to the apartment that you'll be renting, right? So most of them are on a subscription basis. And then of course, the payment can be collected through your own payment gateway so that you don't really need to be at the mercy of the platform. When can I get a payment? All right. But of course, in order for you to succeed, right, you need to actually do your own marketing. You need to let people know that you actually have such an online ordering options for your restaurants. And of course, you need to adapt the whole process into your current process. Meaning to say, when there's an online order coming in, what's the next step? All right, you need to adapt your process to that. And of course, delivery has to be fulfilled by your restaurant, but there are some online ordering platform does offer delivery fulfillment as well. So you can also take a look into such options. All right. So same thing, I'm going to share 2 options that you can actually look into. All right. So for first one will be actually Odo. It's basically a online ordering platform. So their subscription starts from around $2,000 per year, but there are some changes during the COVID-19 period. So for the exact pricing, I will urge that you can actually check with them so you can have the more updated pricing. So what they provide you is actually a branded shopping cart whereby you can have your own page, all right, that lists down all your food items for delivery. And they make payment gateway integration possible so that you can actually collect the payment upfront through your payment gateway. And they also provide the logistic option. That means they actually have the option for you to actually engage their delivery fleet to send out your items to your consumer. But of course, that comes with additional cost. And the good thing about Odo is that they actually have a consolidated marketing website whereby they will list down, all right, all the merchants who are using their system that's offering online ordering. So you can actually get yourself some exposure from this as well. So Odo mainly work in Singapore. So if you are a Singapore restaurant that you're actually looking out for some online ordering platform, this is something that you can actually explore. Next will be Mobi2Go. All All right, so this is actually an Australian company, but you can actually, they are in most of the countries itself. You can actually make use of this plan. So for their subscription, actually start from USD $59 per month. And then there will be actually a 3% transaction fee. That means on top of the subscription, they are charging a 3% kind of commission for every order that went through this. All right. So they have a mobile app option available. And of course, they have various payment options available as well. Cash on delivery, integration with your payment gateway. And they can actually do integration with POS system as well for a more omnichannel strategy. All right, because for Mobi2Go, their main business is not just an online ordering platform. They have actually extensive list of features to let your restaurant to go digitalize. In a sense, like for example, they have actually a digital menu option that you can actually, instead of having staff going down to the table to take orders, they actually have a digital kind of a menu and ordering system whereby you can actually save a lot of manpower from doing that. Yeah, so if you are interested in getting not just an online ordering platform, but to a full-fledged solution that can enable your restaurant to be digitalized, all right, you can actually explore Mobi2Go as well. Of course, next will be more on like the food delivery platform that is available, I see in the market as well. So these are basically service provider that provides technology for online food order. And then they, of course, they will provide all the end-to-end solution, the technology-wise, you know, even the devices and even delivery, all right? So it will give you more exposure, just like online marketplace platform, whereby they have their own sets of target audience, followers, all right? But of course, with all these things, you are expecting a higher commission charge per order. All right, so some of the, I'm not going to go too in there because I think all of us is very familiar with this. During COVID-19, no matter what, I think we have at least ordered one time from one of these, platform itself. All right, so for GrabFood, Deliveroo, Foodpanda, these are some of the examples of a food delivery platform that you can actually engage them with. Right, they will provide end-to-end solution. They have their own sets of followers and fans that you can actually target to. And of course, to take note that, you know, if you want to actually come on board with this platform itself, the commission can start from like 30%. Right, it seems to be high, but imagine this, your logistics is well taken care of, the technology is well taken care of, so you don't really need to spend too much budget on getting your own delivery guys to do this for you. So everything is well taken care of. So 30% is kind of the commission they are charging based on per order itself. Right, so these are some of the examples that I have shared, all right, that you can actually go online to, you know, to actually leverage on to move your business online. But of course, there's nothing from stopping you doing it yourself, all right, because social media is so widely used now. Imagine what, if you recall back what we have shared earlier on, how many percent of people are using social media, the increase that you are seeing. So we can actually promote your offerings through social media. No one is stopping you from doing that. All right, like for example, one of the very up-and-coming famous guys in Singapore is selling fish, all right, online. If you happen to see their live auction, is actually quite funny. It's actually quite interesting, and he managed to actually sell, you know, simply like, you know, 5 figures or even up to 6 figures through this itself. All right, and of course you can also do some like, you know, posting on your Facebook page, all right, trying to target your followers, and then you take the order through WhatsApp and WeChat. So that is also a form of online. Doesn't mean that you can't do that. It's just that there are a bit of manual work that could be involved. But of course, this is free of charge. All right. So if you can actually do it yourself, why not doing so? All right. So, but of course, if you want to do it yourself, there are some other aspects that you might need to actually take note. Like for example, how do I collect payment? All right. Or even those who are going to host yourself on the e-commerce, how do I collect payment and what are the options available? Right. So basically for online payment options, that there are two main kind of options that you can actually look into. The very first one will be actually an online payment gateway. Right. So these are actually service provider that facilitates the payment online, whereby, you know, your consumer can actually pay by their credit card or debit card. So the most commonly used nowadays will be like PayPal or Stripe. Right, so these are service provider that allows you to collect payment online, but do take note that for this service provider, basically they charge a percentage, all right, per transaction. So the percentage can be ranging from 2.9% to 3.4%, depending on which you are using, and depending also on the volume that you actually bring in through the transaction. If you have a higher volume, of course, you can have the negotiation power to talk to them to actually lower down the transaction fee. All right, and of course, online banking, right? Doesn't mean that you can't actually collect payment through online banking. So we have bank transfer in the bank transfer, and in Singapore we have something called Pay Now, which is really, really easy to use to get payment. But the only thing is that you need to actually keep track of this payment yourself. And once the payment is in, then you deliver the order. All right. So you can have the automated way of going online payment gateway, or you can actually do it, online banking way. So there are various options for you to do that. So I don't think there's any excuse for you not going online. And then last but not least, of course, in terms of logistics. So if you're trying to run things by yourself, your own e-commerce platform, all right. So logistics is something that you also have to take note of. All right. Of course, if you have the budget, if you have the resources, you can always do your self-delivery. All right. But you have more control over how you want to disseminate your drivers. But take note, this is actually quite a high cost, especially in Singapore. We all know that COE is very high. And on top of that, you need to engage someone to do that, right? So this is something that you might want to take into consideration if you are trying to do self-delivery. Or if not, of course, there's a wide range of delivery partners that you can actually leverage on, like for example, we have all the courier services like Ninja Van, Nana Move, all right. And even Grab themselves, they're actually coming out with this Grab Express. Basically, it's like a delivery kind of a services whereby they can help you to deliver the food. And even in Singapore, I believe most of y'all would see this, that, taxi driver is actually delivering food as well. So a taxi company in Singapore called Comfort is basically, helping the taxi driver to actually earn extra revenue by coming out with this thing called Comfort Express as well, Comfort Delivery, whereby it actually allows, taxi driver to pick up the orders and then send it to the consumer, and they will earn some kind of remuneration per trip itself. So this is also some of the things that you can actually explore if you're really doing things on your own. All right, try to look out for some delivery partners, or you can do your self-delivery, or even go to those like Grab or even Comfort in Singapore to get your this item delivered to your consumer. All right, so before I end my session, all right, I will just want to take some time to share with you these really important pointers for the businesses. All right, so firstly, I think we need to be adaptive. All right, we need to be adaptive to the situation and then change your business process, not just during this pandemic period, but move with the trend and change your business process to adapt to the situation. Okay, a very good example will be Nokia. All right, I believe those who are in my age, right, will know what is Nokia, right? Maybe those younger ones may not know, but all right, before smartphone was introduced, Nokia is actually one of the dominant force in the market for their phones, right? However, they did not really adapt to the trend of smartphone, and then they end up quite miserably until recent years. They try to adapt. All right, I will not say that it's too late for them, but imagine what if they have adapted earlier. I think things will be very different now. And then, of course, be realistic. Don't expect results to come fast. All right, find yourself the right solution based on your business model. Things cannot be rushed, especially on the results. All right, try to take some time to understand the market and slowly find your niche at a steady pace to recover your business. And lastly, be creative. Think out of the box. All right, how you can actually offer your product or services online. For example, during the circuit breaker in Singapore, bubble tea chain is basically not allowed to open. So if they can't actually get, walk-ins, they can't even get, online order. I mean, they can't even get, food delivery to be delivered to them, all right? So a good example is like Liho, right, the bubble tea chain. 2 months of closure, I think it's no joke for any business lah. But I would say they become creative instead of like sitting down there waiting for the government to give the instruction, oh, you can sell again, all right? Instead of doing that, all right, they become creative. So they can actually come out with like, DIY bubble tea sets to be sold online through the online marketing platform, a marketplace platform, or even through their own website itself, which turned out to be a great opportunity to generate revenue during this pandemic season itself. So I say, be arc, be adaptive, be realistic, be creative, and that will definitely help to move your business forward, be it online or at a physical store. Right, that comes to the end of my session. So next, I will hand over to Remy to actually share with you some of the case studies that we have. Right, Remy, over to you.
Well, thank you, Wei Chong and Gowri, for this very, very in-depth and detailed presentation. So I think maybe we ask the guys to take 5 seconds to stretch out a bit after this long presentation, heavy one. Thank you again, guys. Hi there, my name is Rami. I'm a senior Eber consultant. And in the next few minutes, I will be taking the time to share with you some real life case studies about businesses that have actually successfully moved their channels to the online industry, and how Eber was a strategic partner with them to do that. In a sense, actually, my part is not going to take a lot of time. So basically, it's in a sense of it's an extension of what my colleagues were mentioning just now, but just from a different angle, which is a more realistic angle, which is in the real life field angle. All right, so I'll start first with two examples which are actually in two countries. One is in UAE, Dubai, and the other one is in Australia, and they are both operating in different industry. So the first one is Lambert Pet Care, which is our client from Dubai in the UAE, and they're actually operating excuse me, they're actually operating in the pet business in Dubai. Now, the interesting part is that Lambert Pet Care, they are actually an online business before even the pandemic and the MCO, right? So what is interesting about this case is that although if you're already an existing online business, you can still take advantage of the situation of this pandemic and maybe transform or turn this adversity, these hard times, into an opportunity. And this is actually what the output that we would like to highlight during this presentation, during this webinar, is also to share with you the mindset that entrepreneurs and maybe SMEs should have, which is transforming these hard times into real opportunities, grab the opportunities in there and try to make profit out of it. Okay, which was the case with the two examples that I'm going to share. So Lambert Pet Care, like I mentioned, they were actually a happy, good business online. They were, they even have their loyalty program online, and they have their loyal customers online. Now, after the pandemic, after the COVID-19 outbreak and actually lockdown in 90% of the countries of the world, they have realized that the demand on their products increased, right? Because people are spending more time on their places, and people who have pets, since they're spending more time in their places, they would like to take care more of their pets, of their cats and dogs, right? So they were like, okay, this is what we're doing now, which is online. It's pretty good, but we think that it's not enough. So what can we do more so that we can generate more sales, so that we can generate more cash flow? And hence, you know, generating cash flow in hard times like this give you a huge advantage compared to the competition, because you will have the peace of mind, right? When you generate pre-collected, pre-advanced cash flow, you will have the peace of mind compared to the competitors who are struggling to survive. But you will have your cash flow. You can actually cover a huge part of your expenses so that you can leverage on other future projects. And that was the case. So the idea with Lambert Pet Care, they were like, what can we do more to our online customers, to our loyal customers? So they decided to implement a paid membership solution, a paid membership project, whereby members, they will just pay I think around $109 yearly fee, and then those who enroll to this membership, they will have access to a very particular reward and VIP treatments for them. So, and the game plan for Lambert Pet Care was that they enhanced the online presence by putting a paid membership model that based on auto renewal, basically. So every year, basically, their customers' card will be charged on a yearly basis, or if they want it to be monthly basis, it can also be. And yeah, that's mainly the game plan. And actually, the main objective was to, of course, increase their sales, increase revenue, but they ended up having unexpected profits from this, like, for example, increasing the brand awareness. So they manage, of course, when you have a project like this with online, there's no way that you do this without existing or without presence on social media channels. So it must be combined with the successful social media strategies. And they ended up increasing their revenue, increasing their brand awareness, and increasing their followers and likes on social media. So in terms of technical side, actually, they managed to launch this new platform on Wix, which Wei Chong was mentioning just now, which is one of the e-commerce platforms. So they, for Lambert Pet Care, they managed to switch their business, or to create a new platform using Wix in a matter of few days as well. It didn't take a lot of time because they're a little bit tech savvy, but actually you don't really need to be like, very, very tech savvy, so that you can manage to launch a respectful, easygoing and a friendly user website. So their new website was called Animalia, and then people can just enroll to this membership. They pay $109 a year, and then, like I mentioned, they will have access to very exclusive benefits, to certain treats and rewards, like other business partners operating in the pet care industry, or any other partners. And actually, this was quite a success, in fact, because they managed to sell actually few digital cards of points in the first days. And they started first with friends and family, and it was really a success. So they managed to generate revenue in a matter of few days only. And that's why I want to focus on this part, that by using these monetization tools, they can actually generate pre-collected revenue. And the interesting part is that, of course, you cannot achieve great goals without great partners. So for Animalia and for Lambert Pet Care, some of the things that they had to do is that they were actually dealing with a great web development agency that helped them to move their business. They were actually moving and dealing with Eber as well, which is us, to deploy the technology so that they can implement this recurrent payment on a yearly basis for the paid membership system. And actually, they launched a few weeks back, and it was quite a success. And this is the mindset that I wanted to share with you for the first case of Lambert Pet Care, which is, although they have their existing business online, it was successful, but they still managed to launch another business online and even take it to another level by selling and by generating pre-collected revenue through the Eber monetization tool, which is the recurring annual payment of the digital cards. All right. Now, before I move to the second case, I would like to launch a poll to know your opinion about something. So the poll should be launching in the next few seconds. So I'd like to know your opinion if you do think that actually moving your business online in just 5 days is possible or not, right? If you think it's hard, or if you think it's possible, just let us know your thoughts. So I see that you guys are answering. Most of you are saying it's hard. Some of you are saying yes. So we will see from which perspective we will take this. Okay, so we see most of you, they said actually no. I mean, we don't blame them, right? I mean, that's actually maybe the first impression that you got. How can I set a business in a matter of few days? But the answer can be yes and no, but I will focus more on the yes part, on the possible part. Okay, nothing is possible if there is a will. So actually, which will lead me to the second part, talking about our second partner, our second customer in Australia, Fresh Meat, which is in Queensland, Australia. So these people, it's very inspiring. It was even a learning curve for our consultants and our team to work with these people, because it's very interesting on what they did. So actually, yes, Fresh Meats, they managed to move their business online, like completely online, in less than 1 week. All right, so they have a fully operating, successful online channel that generates sales, that generates revenue in less than 1 week, okay? And again, I would like here to focus on the mindset of people, of the founders, of the directors of this company that they had during the pandemic. So when the lockdown started in Australia, basically, a lot of people were trying to digest the fact that we are living in a pandemic. They were just spending so much time under the shock, digesting the fact that our businesses are going to close for a few weeks, and maybe we don't know for how long. And that's actually what probably caused some problems to the majority of entrepreneurs and businesses, because I would say they didn't have, they couldn't actually act fast, which wasn't the case with Fresh Meats. That's why I say it's really inspiring working with them. They were, okay, we have to digest and analyze the situation. Our business was fully offline. We were happy managing and directing our physical store, and they have their even loyalty program offline. Everything was good. Now everything stops. With the MCO, there's no business, there's no sales, and of course they still have expenses to cover. So they had to take this decision very fast to move their business online, because that's basically, I mean, as for now, I think that's the only way for you, I mean, for them to save their business, right? And which was the case. They managed to move their business to the online channel completely using WordPress. So these are some of the tools that they used. Actually, yes, they used WordPress. They had great partners, like you mentioned. So they were dealing with a great web agency. They have an excellent photographer, and then they have Eber as their partner as well in terms of membership and loyalty program. So with, combining all these efforts of these great partners dealing together, magic happens. So that's what happened. So, and the interesting part again about Fresh Meats is that in a sense, they actually launched 2 projects simultaneously, 2 complex projects. The first one was moving their business online. So they managed to shift and to switch the business from 100% offline channel to 100% online channel on WordPress. Okay, and of course, combined with a social media campaign. Then the second project, which is implementing a complex and a fully operated loyalty program using Eber, right? So in fact, we were helping Fresh Meats to run their loyalty program offline, but the mindset of the perspective was, okay, so now we are going to move to the online channel. It's a huge opportunity. We might expect a great success, but as you may know, opportunities come with a cost. And this cost, which is, although there's great exposure on social media, on online, so you have access to huge market, you have huge market penetration access, but at the same time, you will be facing such a fierce and rude competition. Okay, so you might risk, if you don't really manage this well, if you don't handle this very well, you might end up losing your customers who are supposed to be loyal to you. You might end up losing them, and the competition will take them out from you, right? So they were pretty clever enough and aware enough that they really need to differentiate their brand, even if they move to the online channel. So, and here where Eber interfered. So they contacted us and they told us, hey guys, actually we are planning to move our business totally online because of the current situation. And we would like to move even our loyalty program from the offline channel to the online channel so that we can keep differentiating our brand from the competition. And that's where I mentioned Eber interfered. So we help them to move their loyalty program to the online channel as well. Of course, they will still have it for the offline, and now they have their loyalty program and membership system implemented for their online channel. So, and because their customers, of course, if they're loyal to you and you tell them that, hey guys, we are having a new website and we'll be selling products online, people who are loyal to your brand will follow you, right? But you actually don't guarantee that if people follow you to the online, you will not lose them the moment they enter the internet, right? So that's why they implemented the loyalty program to keep this loyalty, to keep actually protecting their customers, I would say, from the competition. And it was a success because within a matter of few days, you can see the sales of Fresh Meats actually picking up again remarkably and considerably, not only from their online customers who were actually transferred to the online channel with their same point balance, with a reward. They even gave them some treats using our platform, of course, Eber, to give them some welcome rewards and some other additional perks, but they have also managed to gain a lot of brand awareness across social media and across other channels, but mainly it was on Facebook and Instagram. So they managed not only to transform the situation from, okay, a dangerous situation to an okay situation, but they took it completely to another level, from a dangerous situation to a very successful situation and huge opportunity. So because their sales were like crazily increased. And besides that, they have, you know, what we call, I would call it collateral benefits, not collateral damages, but collateral benefits, which is huge brand awareness on social media, a huge number of new followers, and extremely efficient marketing strategies, especially digital marketing strategies. Okay, so to circle back, I don't know if, yeah. So to circle back, for Fresh Meats, I would like to share with you in details and practically what was the case. So before actually moving online, they will have no e-commerce, they have an offline member program and a very limited and small database. Now with moving to the online channel, using WordPress and using other great partners like their web development agency, their photographer, and Eber, of course, they managed to move online in 1 week. huge online exposure, more convenience to customers, and of course, few hundreds of new members, increase revenue definitely because your customers are willing to spend more, and you have new customers coming to your brand. In terms of playbook, yeah, the great web agency, the excellent photographers. Oh, one very important thing is that they have their own logistic channel, right? They have their own logistic and delivery channel in Queensland, which made it easier for them to actually ship and deliver the orders to their customers. Tools, the main tool that they were using, of course, it was WordPress and Eber, so which is actually a connected, integrated solution between Eber and WordPress. PayPal as their payment gateway, and MailChimp for their email automation tool. So with combining these 4 tools, they managed to create huge success in a matter of few days. Now for Animalia, which is under Lambert Petker, of course, before the launch, before moving or before creating the second online project, they didn't have a way to monetize the loyalty of members. And this is a very important point, guys. Even if you have loyalty, even if you have customers, that's not enough. You need to leverage on the fact that your customers are loyal to you. And when I say leverage, meaning like driving more revenue and more sales. And this is pretty interesting from Animalia side. So they wanted to leverage on the loyalty of the members by monetizing it. So they launched a paid membership solution and generated sales in a matter of few days. And they, of course, increased brand awareness because they promoted this campaign very heavily on social media. Playbook, yeah, they leverage on the customer's loyalty, and they very important point about Animalia is that they have an extremely deep understanding of the local pet market in the UAE. So in the UAE, and especially in Dubai, there's a lot of expats who are most of the time well paid, and they have a higher lifestyle standard, so they can actually afford more money to take care of their pets. So they had actually that deep understanding of the market, of the business, so that they can target a very particular niche of customers, and it was a success. The tools that they were using, Wix as the main new channel, Shopify for the other normal business, but mainly it was Wix, Eber, PayPal, and now actually we are helping them to connect Eber to their local payment gateway. So I think this is pretty much it from my side, guys. I hope this real-life case studies were useful to you. If you have any questions, just reach out to us and we'll share more information about these cases. Gowri, back to you again. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Rami. So if you guys have any questions, I saw a few of you raising your hands just now. I'm assuming it's because you wanted to ask questions. Go ahead and leave your questions in the Q&A box or even in the chat box. Let us know your name and also who are you directing your question to, whether it's Wei Chong or you want Rami to answer your questions. We'll give you about maybe a minute or two to do that. I think we've overrun our time as well. There's not much time left, but go ahead and leave your questions. We'll try to take as many as possible. And in the meantime, I'll just get Rami once again real quick, just run everyone through Eber and what we do as a company while they're dropping their questions.
Surely, thank you, Gowri. Hi guys, I'm back again. So yeah, this is a very important question actually, and it's a very frequent question that before we didn't really know how to answer this, because when you are innovating, when you are creating an innovative platform, you actually sometimes don't know how to position it yourself. So when our customers previously used to ask us, are you guys a loyalty program? Are you guys a referral system platform? Are you guys a CRM? So now we can happily and proudly say that we are a consumer experience management platform, and it's all of the above, in fact. Okay, so we help you mainly with 3 areas. So we help you first of all to increase your customers' database by growing your customers. And this is throughout different channels that can be online or offline. Then we will help you with what we call the engagement tools. So once we help you to onboard more customers, we help you to turn these new customers into brand advocates so that they can be loyal to your brand. And the loyalty comes with a loyalty program, which is a point-based system, a reward management system, email automation tools, a referral system, or even a feedback form for people to submit their feedback about their shopping experience with your brand, and then you can incentivize them to gain more points or more rewards. Then the last part, after we help you with growing your customers database, turning them into loyal customers. We help you with the third part, which is growing your revenue throughout our monetization tools, which was the case with Animalia just now. So we help them with the loyalty, but also to leverage on the fact that they have loyal customers. So because as you may know, loyal customers are actually less sensitive to price. This is a very important fact, and they are willing to spend more with your brands if they are happy with your brand, right? And what most entrepreneurs and businesses ignore is that 70 and 60 sometimes % of their revenue comes from their loyal customers. However, they still spend more money on acquiring new members and new customer, which is actually a very strategic mistake. So yeah, so we can help you with a lot of areas. It can be reward management, it can be monetization, it can be analytics, so that you can not only see the data, but we help you also to revive this data and make it actually useful by targeting very specific groups of people, so that you can make better business decisions. So you can have an admin dashboard where you can see all the data. And this is actually what made the beauty about Eber, is that throughout the past 5 years, 4.5 years, I think now, our customers all around the globe, they're actually trusting Eber for mainly the fact that Eber can meet their requirements, and they can manage all of their business needs in one platform. So that's why you find clients like DHL, Ninja Van, and Philips, which are a very, high, large corporation level. You can also find restaurant groups, you can find malls and attractions. So in Singapore, for example, if you guys have been to Singapore, or if you live in Singapore, the main attraction companies like Sentosa, Faber Group, and other companies actually are using Eber to power their tech infrastructure. You can also find hotels, but you can also find small F&B and retailers, because people sometimes come to Eber and be like, guys, save us from the fact that we keep receiving 5 and 6 invoices every month for us subscribing to different vendors. We subscribe to a CRM vendor, we subscribe to a referral vendor, we subscribe to a loyalty provider vendor. So they were like, we want just to consolidate all of our data into one platform, and then we easily manage that. And that's why they are actually loyal customers to Eber as well, because they can manage to consolidate all of the above, and they can run their consumer experience management platform. Again, I want to highlight that it's much more than just a loyalty program. Yeah, so if you guys are actually interested to know more, you can just leave us a comment, and by the end of this session, I will be launching a poll to know your opinion about if you would like to have maybe more in-depth insights about Eber. Thank you. Gowri, back to you.
All right, so we have a couple of questions here. I think the first one is maybe for Wei Chong. It says security of platforms for online conversation. That is what is asked often by our clients. So I'm assuming this is about which platform that you mentioned is maybe most secure. Wei Chong, you want to take this one?
Okay, if you're talking about security-wise, I would say that most of, like, for example, the hosted e-commerce platform like Shopify, like Wix, and even for an online marketplace platform like Lazada, these are all, because they are providing this the hosting as a service as well. It means they are actually hosting this platform for you. So they will actually have their own internal security policy. Of course, they will have things like, all the standard things like SSL, be their own firewall, their own infrastructure to be set to ensure security is met. But for those who are actually, going through the hosted, I would say self-hosted e-commerce platform like WordPress, like the PrestaShop that I mentioned, because the hosting is done by yourself, all right, or you have to engage a hosting company to do that. All right, so you need to make sure that all the steps in terms of having the security in place have to be done on your end. Like, for example, you can have the SSL. You need to make sure that your hosting company provides the SSL. You need to make sure that besides the normal firewall, you need to actually explore maybe something like web application firewall, like things like Cloudflare, eCapsula, that can actually enhance the security of your website. So if you ask me which platform is the most secure, I would say that there would not be any kind of most secure platform, because you can see even the system in the Pentagon, all right, in USA can be hacked if they want to hack it. It's just what kind of a measure of like, level of security you are taking to ensure that, your data are safe. So for hosted e-commerce platform for online marketplace, of course, this is already being well taken care of, as I shared earlier on, right? But if you're on the self-hosted e-commerce platform like WordPress, like PrestaShop, or even like OpenCart, Magento, where you are doing the hosting yourself, you need to discuss internally what are your internal security policy, like for example, even how you set up the infrastructure for the hosting, right? Or if you are working with a web hosting vendor, you need to actually check with them what are the available security options, right, to make sure that when I'm hosting my website with you, all right, it's actually secure. So yeah, I think there's no exact answer that I can give which one is the most secure, but you can take the measurements and steps to make sure that your website is secure based on all the things that I've shared earlier on. SSL, application firewall, you can do all your infrastructure settings, yeah, to make it secure. Yeah.
Okay, the next question here is from Jess. She's asking, besides selling my products on my online store, what other ways can I generate income using the online platform? Wei Chong or Rami?
Sorry, the question again?
So besides selling your products, I guess if you have your own website, aside from selling your products, what are other ways to generate revenue?
Well, I think the main purpose, an online e-commerce store is just like a physical store. So definitely how to increase your revenue, I think firstly is to follow the trend. So what is needed now? Like for example, masks, for example, hand sanitizer, for example, all the related health products that people want to get healthy. So if you're already selling something like this, of course, you can see that your revenue is increasing. But if you are not, maybe you can actually do that as well as part of a bundle, right? I mean, be creative, as I mentioned, be creative. Right, if you are selling things that is not really needed now, right? For example, like those, of course, I talk about tourism is having a big hit. Even if you offer them a free stay in a hotel, they don't want to go. So what other things that you can do? All right, maybe right. So you can actually think of some of the things that is related to the current situation. You can add on as a bundle on top of what you're selling. Then that might be a way of generate more revenue for yourself. Yeah, I think that is something that I can share. Rami, anything else you want to add on?
Yeah, so actually in terms of other revenue channels that you can generate from using an e-shopping cart, I think mainly, like you mentioned just now, is like just the physical stores. It's going to be by selling your products. However, if you're thinking of having other channels, other ways of generating revenue online, you definitely need, I think, more partners or more technologies to combine them with your shopping, your e-commerce platform, so that you can generate more revenue. So like here, I mentioned about the e-vouchers, e-gift cards, paid membership, or even prepaid packages, which I don't think most of the e-commerce shopping carts like Shopify or Wix, they provide that. So you have to look for other third parties like Eber or others so that they can help you to sell this kind of e-vouchers.
Okay,
Gowri, sorry, I think I have a private question came to me from, I think it's from Mr. Abraham. He's asking, when you mention huge increase in revenue, what's the expected returns? Okay, very good questions. Because I think this really depends on from which angle, from which perspective we will see this, right? So if, let's say, for example, we take the case of fresh meats. Fresh meats for the first few weeks of the lockdown, they were basically, I mean, for the first few days, they were at basically zero sales, right? They were at zero sales. So by moving online and by combining it with a very successful social media campaign, you can, I mean, they saw their revenue increase by actually hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in a matter of few days. Same thing for Animalia. So for Animalia, like I mentioned, they were existing online already. They were happy with their have. Then they were like, how can we make a sustainable revenue channel that doesn't depend only on selling our products, but that actually leverage on the loyalty of our customers, which is a paid membership. I'm a very huge fan of this recurrent payment model, because if you have true brand advocates who trust your brand, your products, and your services, don't hesitate to implement a paid membership solution. I invite you guys, if you have the trust that you have actually loyal customers that shop from you on a regular basis, don't hesitate to implement a recurring payment model, because first of all, that gives you visibility in terms of revenue, and that gives you actually the chance so that you can expect how much money this loyalty program or this membership system is going to generate to your business.
All right, I think we will take one last question because it's already almost 4:10. The question is from Calvin. It says, how much does it cost to integrate digital cards referral programs to your online business, and how you go about doing it?
Sorry, again?
What is the cost of implementing digital gift cards and referral programs to your online business, and how do you go about doing it?
Okay, this is a very interesting question, but I think there's a lot of technical aspects that we have to cover. I think it will be great, Calvin, if you can just drop us a separate email and we can show you more in details how we can actually help you to implement the gift card solution. But just some general thoughts. I mean, the minimum and the basic Eber subscription starts from $89 a month. So as cheap as that, you can actually implement a solution. I think we have one more request to Wei Chong from Susie Santoso from Alpha International. So Wei Chong, Susie is asking you, she said that after this presentation, she thinks that it's important for them to use the e-greeting card, which I think she's referring to the online vouchers. And if she's asking also if it's possible to use the gift card.
Yeah, I guess, okay, maybe Susie, I think I have met up with her before. So I think I will get this answer. I mean, I will answer this question to her separately, because this is actually some of her own logistic stuff, because I'm actually, we are in the midst of talking of some of the program to launch for her company as well. Yeah, but end of the day, I think, yes, what we are sharing here is, if you talk about e-cards, all right, this is actually like what, Rami have shared. It's actually an additional channel for you to actually generate more revenue. Of course, you can do it physically, you can do it online, right? But as what our team today is that how we can actually go online to actually provide a means and way for people to buy the gift vouchers. And then, yeah, of course, there are several things that we can do, all right? Of course, we can actually bring it, afterwards to actually discuss more in terms of how we can help your business to achieve what you want. All right, so yeah, I think that's that I will actually discuss with her separately on this. Yeah.
Okay, Susie, I guess Wei Chong will get back to you directly. And Wei Chong, if you can just go to the next slide.
Yep.
Right, so if you guys have any further questions that you want to ask that we cannot address at the moment, please reach out to us. There's an email there. And if you would like to schedule a demo with Eber as well, let us know, yes or no, and we will get in touch with you. But either way, right after this webinar, we'll send you this deck. We'll send you some resources as well on how you can proceed with your online business. And don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have any questions at all. So yeah, I think that is all from us today. I hope you guys have learned quite a bit about setting up your online business and other channels as well. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.